Good afternoon, members of the press. I have a formal statement which I will read, and we will respond to your questions. Let me begin by stating that throughout my career, I've always conducted myself with honor and integrity. I responded to all questions that were asked of me by the impeachment committee in the time allotted. At no time did I ever make any inconsistent statement. As I was said previously in my testimony before the Illinois House Impeachment Committee, as I stated in my voluntary affidavit to the head of the same committee, and as I said to you again now, yes, I had contact with representatives and friends of the former governor about the Senate seat. None of it inappropriate. When asked by Representative Durkin during the committee hearing about contact with representatives of the governor, I responded, yes, I did have contact, and mentioned an encounter with Lon Monk. Senator Durkin then took the line of questioning in a different direction. To be clear, I had contact with 6 individuals in total: Lon Monk, who was not a member of the governor's staff, Doug Schofield, John Weimer, Ed Smith, the labor leader, John Harris, and Rob Blagojevich, along with many other friends. And as I said on the record, I was telling nearly everyone I knew I was interested in the Senate seat. Rob Blagojevich reached out to me in 3 separate phone calls to ask for assistance raising money for his brother, then Governor Blagojevich, a fact that I fully disclosed in my affidavit to the impeachment committee. I made it very clear to him that I would not contribute, that it would be inappropriate and a major conflict because I had expressed an interest in the Senate seat. Once more, I've always conducted myself with honor and integrity. We have provided information to the impeachment committee as well as Senators Reid and Durbin, and I did not donate one single dollar, nor did I raise any money or promise any favors of any kind for the governor. Anyone who suggests otherwise or would insinuate that my testimony in person or in writing is anything other than fully compliant with the committee and consistent with the truth is simply playing at partisan politics. I will answer your questions.
Senator, this February 5th affidavit that was given to Barbara claiming Curry on there, did you go ahead and make it clear that you did in fact speak to Rob Blagojevich as well as some of the other members of his inner circle because you were afraid that the former governor may mention you publicly as doing that, or you caught an FBI tape as speaking to Rob Blagojevich?
And I was with him at the session. The reason that was done.
Can you get an answer from the senator on that?
Senator, can you answer that question? Are you fearful that you're going to be caught on tape here having a conversation with Rob Blagojevich, who was raising money, talking about raising money or about the Senate seat?
Absolutely not. Because the situation was this. Rob called me in October, and as we said in the affidavit, that we would seek I advised him that I couldn't raise any money now because I was raising money for other candidates. And they called me back after the election. And now, in terms of your question about whether or not I was about
do you believe that you're caught in any type of FBI tapes regarding Rob Blagojevich and yourself having conversations about the Senate seat or raising money?
No, because I said in that conversation that I couldn't raise any money. So I mean,
Why did you mention Lon Monk's name, though, during the House impeachment committee hearings and not Rob Blagojevich and other and Harris and Schofield?
Hold on. Because if you check, have you read the record?
I have.
Didn't Durkin mention Lon Monk? The representative raised Lon Monk. That's what took us off to a different direction.
He also mentioned Rob Blagojevich.
And John Harris.
And John Weimer.
And then And that's when I said yes. I said yes. There's a yes answer in that. That means I talked to all of those.
You said you spoke with friends of mine prior to this point.
Hold it, please.
Here you go,
Read it.
sir. Let me answer your things.
Read it, Tim. Read it. Let the lawyer read what was in this transcript.
Who is this?
The lawyer has a statement.
Go ahead.
Excuse me. And let me just first say that the reason that we responded in the supplemental affidavit was because these were the questions that Representative Durkin asked. We didn't get an opportunity to respond, so we responded in a supplemental document.
What do you mean you didn't have an opportunity to respond? You were asked the question. There was even a pause between Senator Burris' answer.
Excuse me, I was there. I don't know where you were, but let me go ahead. May I finish answering your question?
Sure, yes.
All right, you asked, what was his response? When when Representative Durkin answered questions, Mr. Burris' response was, I've talked to some friends of mine about my desire to be appointed. Yes.
Friends of mine.
Why didn't he mention Rob Blagojevich or John Harris?
It was his intention to do so. As the senator said, Representative Durkin asked a different question, took him in a different direction. It was only after we went back and reread the transcript that we fully respond to everything to make sure that there was nothing left out.
Regardless of the direction of the conversation, I mean, the implication here, the whole central issue of those hearings was this pay-to-play stuff. Shouldn't these new facts have been the first thing out of your mouth during the testimony?
That's what you all are looking at as professionals. Permit me to say to you that as a witness on the stand, I was answering questions that were asking me. And when the questions went into a different direction, wouldn't you ask the question of Durkin, why did he come back to those if he was interested in them? Because I didn't even respond to them because I was answering other questions.
He asked the second, sir, he said he had a follow-up question saying, did you speak to anyone in the governor's staff or any of those individuals closely related to the governor? You said, I recall having a meeting with Lon Monk about continued business in July of 2008. Why didn't you say Rob Blagojevich or John Harris or Schofield?
Oh, so I'm sorry. Because he had raised a question about Lon Monk. And so that's why we took off on Lon Monk. And what direction did we go in after that testimony? You got the record.
Senator, with all due respect, the question involved several people. It involved, I believe, 5 people, 4 of which you met. You only discussed Lon Monk. It was the same question. Those names all came in one question.
But the whole and had he come back and said, now did you talk to Rob Blagojevich?
That was part of the
No.
mentioned Rob.
All of he read a whole list of names, from what I recall, a whole list of names, and we went into the direction of Lon Monk. We never did come back to those other names.
Why didn't you just come back on your own?
Because I was answering other questions.
He came back on his own. In the supplemental document, he came back on his own, and he answered every question.
I was answering.
Why do you have a new affidavit?
Senator, have you had any conversations with federal agents about the circumstances regarding this appointment?
I have not had any conversation.
Have any of your aides have had any conversation? Aides or attorneys have discussions with the federal prosecutors or federal
What I understand is some of the agents have reached out to my lawyers.
Have they talked to them?
No, I mean, they have not. We haven't talked. They said they want to meet with me.